Hello parents! We're excited to be with you today to do this informational video so that we can tell you about an exciting program that's coming to the high schools in Lawton. My name is Kathy Davis and this is Elise Day. Elise is the founder of Education Alive and I'm the architect of the Navigator program, which is the one we're implementing here in Lawton. Often as our children get into high school, we think it's time to take a step back as parents. Instead, it's actually a time to step on into it with them, and one of the ways you can do it is through the Navigator program. I'm going to explain to you how we've designed it so that parents can be a part of what's going on in the classroom. First though, I want to show you some statistics that you might be a little surprised about. We surveyed some freshman groups in the state of Oklahoma, and we asked them some questions, and here's what they said. We said, do you think that having a career choice is a process or something you just decide? And 90% of those freshmen said it's definitely a process. So that was good news to us because we think the same thing. You may too. 45% of the students that we surveyed said that they have only once or never talked with their parents about what career they're going to choose. That's important. But what's interesting is that 71% of those same freshmen said that they did want their parents' help in making that decision. And to us, that just sent up a flag that said, we need parents involved in this process during high school. And that's why we are writing the Navigator curriculum. 80% of the kids said they don't really know what they want to do or what the training will cost them to do. And 75% of them said they didn't know how they would pay for it. And these are all questions that have to be asked and talked about between the parent and the child. You are the most influential person in their life, and they need your guidance in making these life decisions. So what this tells us is that if we can help kids make these decisions alongside their parents, before they take on a lot of unnecessary college debt, then that's just going to propel them further into their future and get them to where they want to go faster without that burden of debt on them. One of the things we love about what's happened in the last few years in the state of Oklahoma in education is that the state has mandated a program called ICAP. It's Individual Career Academic Plan. And what their hope is that they want kids to begin really even in grade school, but by their freshman year they want them to have a good idea of which direction they're going to go as a career. And then let that speak into what classes they will take, whether or not they'll go to any kind of tech school, what kind of training they need, and begin to plan for their future. One of the reasons we personally love the ICAP is that it's not just about careers, because can freshmen come up with what they want to do for the rest of their life by the end of their freshman year? Maybe, maybe not. But what we do love about it is that it's about input, output, asking questions, coming along beside their parents and getting their input, and then it's about hope, providing pathways for kids to take to do what they were meant to do. For us, the goal of this program is to help kids come fully alive. Now you might ask yourself, what does it mean to be fully alive? And if it did cause you to ask that question, that's exactly what we're hoping will happen with your kids. We believe kids have a purpose, and that the way we become fully alive is that we find that thing we're really meant to do, that we can do well, and that's what we do. And that's what we hope for with these kids. So we want to start them leaning into that idea. We do that by using Career Sherpa. Elise has been around interviewing Sherpa in the state of Oklahoma and nearby states for the last 3 years. And we call them Sherpa because they are acting as guides to take kids through different careers to see what goes on and what's available in that career, so that if that resonates with your child, they can make a note about it. And then later they'll have a chance to investigate that further. But that's not all there is to this course. One of the things that makes this course unique is that we don't start with careers. We start with self-discovery, and that means personal growth and training and skills. We try to do this all under the guise of what we call kind self-efficacy, because we're not trying to make kids feel less than they are. We don't want them to look at themselves and judge themselves harshly for what they do or don't have as far as their ability to understand or how far along they are in the career process. We really just want them to look at themselves as they learn more about themselves and say, what does this mean about what I should do with my life? I always use my husband as an example, and that is that he is an extrovert. He loves people, he loves talking to people, being around people, but his dad was an accountant. And so in college, when he got there, he just decided he should be an accountant. Well, it didn't take him very long till he got out of school and spent a little bit of time in a cubicle, and he realized he was not designed for that at all. So if he had had the ICAP program to go through when he was in high school, it would have revealed for him that maybe he's better suited in a position where he can really interact with people often. Two things that are going to happen in this course that might be a little abnormal from other high school courses is that there's going to be a group called senior mentors. And they're seniors who are serving in the high school to help these freshmen daily in class to learn alongside them and help them become acclimated to the high school. They want to make them feel needed and known and an important part of the high school itself. They're going to lead your children in freshman family groups. And those groups are designed so that regardless of the size of the class, your child has a chance to sit in a small group to discuss the curriculum and the questions that are being asked, to build positive relationships with each other, and sometimes just to have fun together and play. We call it play for a purpose, and I'm sure your students will explain that to you after they've gone through it. We use journals to help kids track what they're learning and what they want to learn from the program, and to put down information they learn about themselves. Two of the ways we're going to keep parents involved in this is that we're going to use parent newsletters and we're going to use reflection tickets. We really hope you'll take the time to read those newsletters, because what those newsletters will tell you is what we're doing in class during this trail. So when you receive the parent newsletter, you'll receive one each time we start a new trail. And I say trail because we consider this an adventure. We want your child to feel like they're on an adventure while they're trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. We think it's an exciting time in life, and we want them to feel that way. Not the pressure of I have to decide, but just the excitement of discovering what is it I really do want to do with my life. So each of the trails will have its own parent newsletter. And when you get those, if you'll open it, there will be a couple of things that you want to pay a lot of attention to. One is if the kids are doing anything, if they're taking any kind of test as far as personality test or the Enneagram, the MBTI, any of that, that link will be in there so that you can take it too if you want to join along on the journey. Also, there will be some discussion questions that we would like for you to ask your child in order to discuss with them what is going on and what they're learning at that time. That gives you an opportunity to give them feedback, where when they come home from school and you ask them what they're doing, they might not think to tell you all of this, but if you have a question particular to what they are doing, then it'll allow you to engage them in this conversation of what do I want to do with my life. So you might ask yourself as a parent, why do we need to do all of this stuff? Why do we need to do an Enneagram or an MBTI or the Hope Scale score or the Grit Scale score? But the reason we do that is because it helps your child sort of uncover who they are and where they are in life and how they want to move on from here. We have a book that is out. It's called Do What You Are, and that is tied to the MBTI, which is a type indicator. And what it allows your child to do is to find out what their MBTI letters are, and then to look into that book and see what are the careers that might match my personality type, so that, unlike my husband, they don't find themselves in a cubicle when they really just want to talk to people. We really want to help them along that path. At the end of this video, you're going to see a QR code that you can scan. And when you scan it, if you will fill out that form, it will give you an idea of what we're asking you to communicate to your child. If your child carries a phone, then they're going to take out their phone during class when the scan comes up, and they're going to scan that with their phone, and then they will follow your instructions about that, which is you either want them to email it to you or you want them to text it to you. If your child doesn't carry a phone, please don't worry about that. We have other ways we can get it to you. That phone is just the fastest way to get it to you. But those newsletters will also be posted in their Navigator Google Classroom, and it's possible they can email them to you from their computer. So don't worry about it if your child doesn't have a phone, but those are the options for how we can get the information to you. Okay, now with everything that we've talked about, the things that we're going to do in class, the senior mentors, the career exploration, you may be wondering, well, where will this all lead us? And the search will take us quite a few places. One, your child will learn what their transferable skills are. They'll get an opportunity not just to explore careers, but to explore careers that are important to them. They'll make a formative career plan. They'll get a chance to do some community service, and they'll learn about mentorship along the way. The senior mentors will help them acclimate into the high school itself. And who knows, someday your child may want to serve as a senior mentor. At the end of the course, we will use a web-based program called OK College Start. And it's just a tool for your child to keep up with what they're doing as far as looking for a career. They have interest surveys, they have a place for us to upload a document, and we actually will upload a document called the ICAP upload into their login for that website. That way, no matter if it's a year or so or when they're a senior, they want to look at what they learned when they were a freshman in this class and see if they're still feeling the same way. We are hoping to do progressive curriculums, so your child may be involved in this from now until they are a senior. But still, they will have this strong foundation, this platform to go from as far as looking for the career that will help them be exactly who they were meant to be.